to look at this question here. So they say, right, so to simplify this to a single trigonometric ratio means only one trig ratio must appear in the final answer. Only one type of trigonometric ratio, right? So sine squared 90 y minus 90. So we said how about 90 change shall be, so meaning 90 makes a sine to change into cos and cos to change into sine. So what will happen there is that this sine will change. Therefore sine will change here and become cos. So this is now cos squared y. And I don't determine whether the sign is positive or negative because it is squared. When it is squared, no need to determine whether the trig ratio is positive or negative. It will always be positive as long as it is squared. Every squared number is positive, right? So say plus. Now this, you make the negative to disappear. You drop the negative, it becomes sine y. Then you go and check whether it is positive or not. So this is sine y. Let me write it nicely. Sine y. Go to the calculator and I want to check. So I'm going to the calculator and replace this y by 1 degrees. So check it in the calculator, it is negative. So you write negative. Then cos changes. Because there is 90, the cos changes and it becomes sine y. Then you determine whether the sign is positive or negative by replacing the y with 1 degrees. So I find out that this is positive. Right, so positive. Now sine x multiplied by sine x, this is still cos squared. Negative sine x multiplied by sine x will give you negative sine squared y, and this is a square identity of sine of cos. See, we have got cos alpha minus sine alpha, which is the same as the double angle identity. So this is equal to cos 2y, done like this. Now let's look at this. You drop, when you see 180, 90 and 360, you drop them, right? Even a negative angle, you drop them, meaning you ignore, they disappear. So let's check. I make this to disappear, so this must disappear and we remain with a. So this is sine a. Then determine whether it is a positive or a negative. Then I determine whether it is positive or negative. To determine whether it's positive or negative, you go to your calculator. In the calculator, in the place of a, I have replaced with 1 and I get a positive answer. And since I got a positive answer, it means the trig ratio is positive. Now there, the sign, I drop this. Then when I drop 90, sign must change into what? Into cos. So it is cos a. Cos a. Then determine whether the sign is positive or negative by replacing the a here with 1 degrees. So I get a positive answer. meaning the sign, the trig ratio is positive. Since I got a positive answer, it means the trig ratio is positive. So let me put brackets around this, put brackets, and then I go to the next one. I drop the negative sign here, it becomes sine A. Then determine whether it's positive or not. In the calculator, it gives us a negative. And since we got a negative answer, it means now this is what? Negative. Then this 900, you cannot drop it immediately because it's an angle greater than 360. So for an angle greater than 360, you must subtract 360 from it. So 900 minus 360, you subtract until you recognize you get either 180, 360 or 90, the ones that we said we are dropping them. So I subtract 360, then subtract 360 again, I get 80. So the 900 will be replaced by 180 now. So this is replaced by 180. So I drop it. This is cos, this becomes cos A. Now determine whether the sign is positive or negative. So I replace with 1 degrees, I get a negative answer. So this means, since I got negative answers, this means that the cos is actually negative. Now sine times sine, sine times cos is sine cos. Then negative times negative is positive. Sine times sine, sine A cos A. Now these two are like terms, so you'll have 2 sine A cos A. Then this relates to the double angle identity of sine. So this is the same as sine 2A. So in this way, I've simplified it. Then let me look at this. So when we look at this, 300 is greater than 90. We must reduce that angle there. So for me to reduce I use the arc method, where if it is sine like this, then I say arc sine of sine 310 in my calculator to see what angle I got. So this is what I get. I get a -2, -20. So now the -20 means that the 340 has reduced to 20, and the negative sign must go to the trig ratio itself. It means the trig ratio is negative. So this is the same as negative sine 20, where now this negative is this negative here on that I got in the calculator. So the negative sign, the sign of the answer that you get in the calculator will be the sign that you give to the trig ratio. So go to the next one. This is degrees. Cos 200 in the calculator, I'm going to shift cos negative cos 200 to see the answer that I get. right? So you get 160 if you do that. And since I get 160, I must subtract 180 from it, because 160, this angle did not reduce to the level that I want. When we reduce, the angle must be less than 90 when we reduce. So since this angle was not less than 90 when I reduced it, it did not reduce it to the level that I want. Then you subtract 180, so that now it will become negative 40. Sorry, it will become negative 20. The answer will be negative 20. So meaning now, this is negative cos 20. The negative sign. So this is what is happening. This negative comes from this answer there. You assign it to the trig ratio, the negative that you get in the answer in the calculator. Put in brackets, we'll sine 140. Let's go to the calculator again and shift. So you see, you're going to do this. You're going to say shift sine 140 degrees. Then what will you get? You get positive 40. So you get positive 40 for this, right? So meaning now this is sine 40 degrees. And it is positive because the answer that we got from the calculator is positive, right? So this is equal to 20 multiplied by 20, negative and negative positive. So sine multiplied by cos, that will be sine 20 cos 20 degrees all over sine 40. And if you look at the relationship between the angles, 40 is 2 times the 20. So it's a double angle identity. It's double. So think about it. Think about double angle identity. So this one wants to relate to the double angle identity of sine. This wants to relate to the double angle identity of sine. But the problem is that we don't have that 2 there. The coefficient instead, it is 1. And the coefficient, for it to be the double angle identity of sine, we must have a coefficient of 2 there, right? So I'm going to introduce that 2. So I introduce the 2 here, but if I introduce the 2, I must also introduce it at the bottom, so that 2 and 2 still make 1. Still the coefficient will still be 1. So this is 2. Then now what happens is this now is the double angle identity of sine. This is equals to sine of 2 times 20. 2 times 20 all over 2 sine 40, which is equals to sine 40 over 2 sine 40. Then sine 40 and sine 40 cancel. The final answer is 1 over 2. Right, until we meet again, Thank you very much. Subscribe to your YouTube channel, Mathematics.